Apparently, he was using those blood on my parts for sacrifice at where he had gone for money rituals. I never knew everything he had or achieved was as a result of money rituals. Hello brother, thank you for giving me this opportunity to share with you and your listeners my very own life story. I am a lady in my late 20s and I have to start by saying I have a bitter story to tell you. I do not come from a well-to-do family, hence I decided to live my life in a way that will not bring any problems to me and my family, which in turn will cause a major issues in the family. Because looking at the family that I came from, the only person that truly had something going on for him happened to be my father's senior brother, who was making sure that we were taken care of. And when he died, all the things he was doing for us, his wife made sure everything ended. It wasn't anything that we could fight because she was the wife, and in his will it was read that he willingly gave everything that he had to his wife, and this gave her the power, decided to take everything from us. My father's brother opened a shop for my mother, and it was out of this shop that we were surviving. That is why, knowing where I was coming from, I decided to live my life according to where I was coming from. So what I did was that I was the one at the shop doing the selling while my parents were also working to help support the shop. That is how we were surviving. Then one day this guy came to the shop. After buying things, he asked for my number, which I gave to him. That is how I met my boyfriend. We started talking and the vibe was there between us. So not long after, he became my boyfriend. After proposing to me and accepting his proposal, we started having a good time. Mind you, I said earlier that we didn't have much, and this guy also made sure that I didn't lack anything as a lady. He was so lovely and a nice guy to me. The first time I visited him at his place, I was shocked. It was like this guy was living so lavishly. So I asked him, what does he do that helps him make so much money? He told me that he sells TV sets. I wasn't enticed or moved by what he had because I had already fallen for him before I even visited his place to witness all that. After about some months into our relationship, he told me to go and introduce him to my parents as the guy in my life. That made me happy because I came to the conclusion that he truly has a future for us. So I also did just as he asked me to do and did introduce him to my parents, who also accepted him with open arms, and just like that our relationship became known to my family. But one thing was that anytime I asked him to take me to his family, he would be giving me one excuse or the other. At that time I did not think much of what he was doing, but right now in my life, as I'm telling you this story, whatever he did makes sense now. We continue with the relationship, and I was even spending more days in his house, even more than I was spending in my parents' house. Throughout that time that I knew him, he hardly travels, and even if he does, he won't spend more than one day out. All of a sudden, he started traveling without even telling me exactly where he was going to, and will not even tell me when he will be returning. I did not understand any of that, so I confronted him about it, which he told me that he was a man and there was no way he was going to tell me everything that he engages himself in. He made me feel like I was nagging for no reason, so I even ended up asking for his forgiveness. I started noticing some strange behaviors from him. You see, there is this dustbin in the compound, so because I cannot possibly put my menstrual pad anywhere, I always wrap them in the poly bag and put them in the dustbin. But one thing is that the week I will be having my menses, he will always be the one to clean the house. I will tell him to stop it, and that it was my duty to do that, but he never agreed. He always tells me that it's not always every time I'll be the one doing the cleaning. He also needs to do that to show support. At those times, I thought he was being a darling and a romantic partner. Little did I know that it was because of my blood stains on the pad. That is why he was doing all that. How he was doing it was that he will do all the cleaning. He will go outside the house and burn the rubbish. So all those times, I thought everything, including my pads, were being burned. But then he knew what he was doing. He never really loved me in any way. Everything that he was doing was just to cover up his evil plans and also have me dedicate myself to him so that he can really do what he wanted with me. Apparently, he was using those blood on my parts for sacrifice at where he had gone for money rituals. I never knew everything he had or achieved was as a result of money rituals. You see, in this life, whenever your instinct causes you to feel some way about something that is going on in your life, know that your instincts can never be wrong in any way. I had several feelings about him when he was traveling and doing all those things, burning all those rubbish, but I toned down those feelings because I would then lie to myself that he was just showing me love. I started growing lean. This was something that I personally didn't understand, but anytime I would bring it up, my parents would tell me that the changes in my body is also part of our life, it's part of growing up. But I had this strange feeling that it was not just a normal thing like my parents are making it look like. I started becoming pale and also started losing hair. It was as if I was suffering from cancer or something like HIV. So I went to the hospital, and after the necessary medical check, I was told there was nothing medically wrong with me. So I was medically okay. Why I was facing all those problems I went through. Rumors started going about that I was indeed suffering from the HIV virus. Meanwhile, I had gone to the hospital and they told me there was nothing wrong with me medically. This was where the guy did something that shocked my parents and I. He actually told me that the kinds of things that he has been hearing about me were too much for him to handle, so we needed to go our separate ways. He told me that if I had the virus, it's best that he stays away from me. And I remember my parents had a meeting with him one day and told him that if he truly believed that I do have the virus, then definitely he also has the virus, because they know that once I have been sleeping over at his place, definitely we have been sleeping together. This guy looked at my face and my parents' face and told them that he has actually gone to the hospital for a test and has seen that he is negative, so there is no way he will continue to be with me and catch the virus, knowing very well that I did not have anything like that. Saying those things to my face and in front of my parents was so hurting. My parents did their best and made sure they tried to get me back on my feet. We started with herbal medicine. There was no improvement in my body, so it got to a time that my father said that we should put the shop up for sale so that we can use the money to treat me, for they could not afford to lose me. At this point in time, I was so weak to a point that when I wanted to walk, someone would help me hold myself up before I can walk. There is this woman who was taking me like a daughter. She came to the house to check on me, and when she saw how bad things has gotten, she told me that she knows a spiritual leader who can help. I agreed that they should take me to wherever they feel I can be cured of whatever the problem is. So this woman led us to the spiritual leader. This person is part of the white garment pastors, and they had this red thing they tied in their waists. That was where I was taken to. That day when we were there, they were having this service. Because I was that weak, I sat at the back and intended to go see the pastor after the service. Just when he was ministering, he came to the back where we were seated. He asked about someone being called by a certain name, and he mentioned that it was me. My mother stood up and told them that indeed that was my name. He asked them to bring me in front of the church. I was taken in front of the church close to his altar. He then started talking about things that was happening in my boyfriend's house. He talked about times he would come and clean and burn the rubbish. That was when he said he actually exchanged my soul as a sacrifice to increase his wealth. He said that the money that the guy had is as a result of 3 other girls that he has done the same thing to, and he needed to do another sacrifice. That was why he came for me, not because that he loved me. After telling us all this, what really happened, he told us that he can reverse it, but then when he does that, the guy will be at the receiving end of whatever he will be reversing, and again one of his family members will have to join him and die. He asked my parents if this is what they wanted. They said yes, and preparations were made for the ritual to take place. We were made to buy 2 doves and some other items after the service. That evening we had to stay there till the next morning. He did a lot of incantations and prayer early the next morning. He killed one of the doves and also set free one, and I was given some herbs to bath with and some to drink. He gave us about 3 weeks that everything would be alright with me. That is how I was saved from being used as a sacrifice. Whatever he reversed had an effect on the guy, just like he said. When I started seeing some changes in my body, the woman that took us to this man came home to tell us that exactly what happened to me is now going on in his life. In just about a week or so, we heard that he died. I have come to believe that indeed there were things that were really going on in this world that we don't know. And please, my dear ladies, what these guys are into, I bet you have no idea. Please, let us be more careful in choosing people we want to enter into relationship with. I hope my story serves as a form of lesson for everyone. It is not everyone that has your best interest at heart. Thank you, and don't forget to subscribe, share and like our video. Kindly hit the notification bell so you will be the first to get notifications when our videos are uploaded.